So once you've got your script, how do you go from the script to the storyboard? There's a process that's called marking up your script. This is where you go from words on a page to a list of shots that you can actually go out physically in the universe and go and film. Okay, so it's taking it from the two-dimensional kind of plane of the page onto the screen. Of course, it's really important that the storyboard actually relates to your script. So you don't just sort of throw away the script and go, I'm going to make a film and do the storyboard. When you have your children in class doing the storyboard process, you know, you want to have them with their script out on one side and their storyboard sheet on the other side. There is room for a little bit of interpretation and improvisation if they want at this stage, but you know, it's good exercise just to try and keep it as close as possible as the original script. What would happen with your script? You'd need a rough copy of your script and you mark up your script. And this is what a director would do. You go through a process of breaking down a scene into a series of shots. So if you take that sample script that I gave you, you've got 70-year-old Albert Johnson sitting on an armchair wearing warm but comfortable shoes. What you can do is either circle or underline that sentence, draw a little line off from it. You could cover all that in a long shot really easily. Slightly more interesting, maybe break it down into 2 or 3 shots. So you have a medium shot maybe of Albert Johnson sitting on his armchair, then you cut to close-up of his worn and comfortable shoes. And you basically go through your script in that way. Obviously with dialogue as well, you know, dialogue can be covered in, you know, you could have even if it's quite a long, you know, you've got 2 or 3 lines of dialogue, you could cover that just in one straight close-up shot, or you could look at breaking that down into a series of shots, depending on what's important. If you've got extended dialogue going on between 2 characters, and you've only got one camera, the simplest way to cover that is to, you know, do the reverse shot, where you'll cover one character speaking from one camera angle, and then you cut across and you cover the other person speaking on the other angle, and then you cut, so you have the interjections and the dialogue. It might be more dramatic or more poignant emotionally to see the responses to something somebody else is saying, rather than always just cutting, doing the tennis, or so you end up with that tennis game thing. So you end up with a script that's all scribbled on, underlined, with little lines going off. That's close-up, that's a high-angle shot, that's a POV, that's a medium shot. And then you go through and you can take that and you can translate that onto a storyboard. A storyboard is a visual and written description of your film in film order. Your storyboard is the nearest thing to how your film will look and sound, but on paper. Okay, so this is how your finished edit will look, and it should start with shot 1 and go through to shot whatever, and shot 1 should be the first thing that we see, and it should also be scene 1. So you'd put the scene number up here, scene 1, shot 1. Draw a visual representation of your shot, thinking about framing and composition. What do we need to see in that shot? So you can put right underneath whether it's a medium shot or a long shot or a close-up. So if you write sort of long shot, you know, man walks into the room, where it says action or underneath there, then even if your drawing isn't brilliant, you know exactly what it is that shot's supposed to represent. It can be a really beautiful thing, a very evocative thing. Obviously you put your dialogue in there as well. So we need to know exactly everything that's going on in this shot. Again, what we're seeing, what we're hearing. And so a brief description of the action. So John walks into the shop and orders a loaf of bread. And you can have the dialogue, please can I have a loaf of bread? And then you can have effects of, like, you know, door slamming, or the effects would be sort of visual effects or audio effects that you hear that you might want to add on. And then from the storyboard, you go to a shot list. The difference between a storyboard and a shot list is a storyboard is representing your film, a visualization of your film in chronological order, so the order that you want your finished edited film to be in. Whereas a shot list is a production tool, so this represents the order in which you're going to go out and shoot your shots, which might be different depending on access or location, or maybe so-and-so can't be there that day, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot scene 3 and 5 today, and then on Tuesday I'm going to shoot scenes 1 and 2. So you're basically reproducing some of the information on your storyboard, but you're just kind of reordering it in shooting order. to the order in which you can actually physically go out and shoot it, as opposed to the order you want it to be when you're editing it. It's simplest, always, to try and shoot your film in the order that it needs to be in, you know, in the finished analysis if possible, but it's not always possible.